I am baffled by this carnivore diet.
When I went full carnivore when I was 20, it changed everything. I couldn't get tired, I couldn't run out of energy, I couldn't get sore. The harder I pushed myself, the more my body gave me.
The most important thing that happened to me is I've overcome depression, horrible clinical depression.
When I started, I was able to take what I think of as the first full breath of my entire life.
Chronic fatigue, absolutely crippling depression. I lost my hip and my ankle to arthritis and had them replaced when I was 17. My diseases were put into complete remission by an all-meat diet.
The first time I heard about the carnivore diet, it reminded me of all these stupid weight loss diets where you only eat the same food like grapefruit or apple or something ridiculous like eating cotton balls to make you feel full. Yeah, I kid you not, there are people who actually did that. But unlike those nonsense diets, the big difference is that the carnivore diet isn't just promoted to lose weight, but also and mostly to improve your overall health, especially but not limited to people with an autoimmune disease or depression. This made me curious because at first glance, it looks super restrictive and quite the opposite of healthy. First of all, veggies and fruits are supposed to be good for us. I mean, without them, where are we supposed to find our vitamins unless we take supplements? Well, some proponents of the carnivore diet, such as Dr. Sean Baker, argue that on an all-meat diet, our needs in those vitamins would actually be much different. And his reasoning is that carbohydrates actually compete with some vitamins, such as vitamin C, to enter into our cells. Thus, eating carbs could inhibit the absorption of some vitamins, and as a result, if we remove them out of our diet, our needs would be covered by meat, especially if we include organs such as beef liver. But vitamins are just one part of the problem. Another big deal with the carnivore diet is the complete absence of dietary fibers. Most nutritionists argue that fibers are super important for improving digestion, lowering cholesterol levels, controlling blood sugar levels, and overall just keeping you healthy. Yet, for Dr. Paul Mason, a supporter of the carnivore diet, this is a misconception, and dietary fibers could actually be a cause of digestive problems. On top of that, it would appear that vegetables and fruits are not that healthy. I know, this sounds a bit like a conspiracy theory, but this would be caused by something very real called anti-nutrients that can be found in grains, legumes, nuts, leafy greens, and other foods that can interfere with the absorptions of vitamins and minerals. There is also the problem associated with nightshades, vegetables, and fruits such as tomatoes, bell peppers, potatoes, and more, suspected to cause inflammation and create digestive issues. Many of these arguments remain speculative and are heavily criticized by the vast majority of research studies. Yet, testimonies of people whose lives have been changed positively because of the carnivore diet keep flowing all over the internet. I guess there is only one way to figure out if the carnivore diet actually works or not. We're gonna try the carnivore diet for 30 days. Each of us have good reason to try it. Different reasons, but at the end of the day, we both have digestive issues and tend to be pretty bloated with food. On my end, it's because I have EPI, which is exocrine pancreas insufficiency. So basically, my pancreas is not producing enough enzyme to digest the food properly, especially carbs. So that's one thing that I'm hoping the carnivore diet will help.
And me, just general IBS, which is so much fun, and Hashimoto's and pain, joint pain, fatigue, like bone deep fatigue.
We are not doing the carnivore diet to lose weight, but we are still going to take our measurements and weight just to track how it will evolve across an entire month. During that entire time, we will not count our calories. We will just eat as much as we want and we will see how our body reacts. Something that I should say is that the carnivore diet takes different forms. Of course, the basic principle is to only eat animal products. There are some variants, such as the lion diet, which is literally just eating beef, salt, and water. But we will do the less restrictive diet, where we can eat any animal product. This includes meat, fish, eggs, and dairy products. This means we will not eat any vegetable, fruit, grain, oils, and obviously no sugar. What are you making, Kate?
My first attempt of meatballs, turkey meatballs.
there is nothing special, no change in terms of energy or whatever. I mean, nothing special really.
I'm just full.
When you only eat animal products, it can be difficult to take part in social activities because it's a very restrictive diet and it's quite likely that you won't really be able to eat anything in a restaurant. And if you are invited for dinner at your family or friend's house, it's a bit of a pain to everyone and it can be an uncomfortable experience. Fortunately, when we rented a cabin in the mountains and spent time with our friends, everyone was super nice about it.
This is going to be a bread substitute.
On such a diet, it can be very useful to cook in bulk, and lucky for me, I got this big smoker last summer. It's a bit weird to use it in the middle of winter, but who cares? While it's cooking, why wouldn't we go to the park down the street and take advantage of the snow? We don't have a sled, but hey, we got that cheap bodyboard. I'm gonna push you. Putting it like that doesn't work, but if we flip it, it works much better.
Hey, you! Wow, we went even farther that time.
During the carnivore diet, avoid eating an entire pound of cheese in a single meal. It would make you feel gross and sick. Don't ask me how I found out. The first few days were easy, but now it's getting really difficult. And it's not so much the lack of energy or anything like that. No, it's just the frustration of not being able to eat anything but protein-based stuff. Like I can't eat fruits. I can't eat veggies. I just went to Costco, and the frustration of not being able to pick up any of the delicious things that are on sale and that look so good.
I'm eating now. And I've got some broth. Something that I absolutely adore since I've started eating carnivore is that I'm not constantly hungry and constantly craving to eat something, eat a snack. For the most part, like, my satiety is just miles of a difference.
I'm so done with this carnivore diet. I just want to eat fresh fruits or juice or something. So just trying to eat something sweet, it's really difficult. All I managed to get is mixing some cream cheese with some Greek yogurt and some whey protein. But that's not satisfying my craving at all. I'm getting really sick and tired of just eating meat all the time, and meat is literally my favorite food in the world, but after this challenge I may not like meat so much anymore, unfortunately.
Bebito, what do you want to do as soon as the 30 days is over?
I'm gonna eat a bowl of fruit, but like not a regular bowl. I'm gonna fill that shit up with fruits of all kind of sort of fruits, fresh fruits, and I'm gonna look like that. And I'm gonna look like that, and I'm gonna be happy. Because right now that's all I want. I want fresh fruits. A ton of them.
You're so...
Alright, so we did it.
Yeah.
37 days. Actually, we did 1 week more. For me, one thing that stood out is that you're not gonna lose weight by doing the carnivore diet unless you actually try to. You're not gonna gain weight either unless you also try to. Unless you eat literal sticks of butter, I feel like it's really hard to gain weight on this diet because like you get full soon, and when you're full, it stays in your stomach for a long time.
Few lessons on my side. I am full more often. Before I was hungry all the time. Even if I ate like my normal meal, an hour or two later, I was hungry again. The other thing that I learned is that, so obviously not eating carbs is one thing, but also not eating extra sweets is a really big deal for me. Like eating food and sweet things and cookies, it helps me feel better, like happier. but it's kind of like a drug. And I noticed that, especially like, for example, at work, right? I have a very stressful job. And oftentimes in our break room, we would have snacks and cookies and things that people would bring in either for the holidays or like gifts for the nurses. And I would almost always like go in and I would eat something, whether it was because I was taking a break, or if I was just like, oh, I know there's cookies in the break room, so I'll just take a step out and go get a cookie. And then I would justify saying it's been a stressful day. This is my 4th day in a row. Like, I deserve a cookie. But really, I think what I was doing is that I was taking a stressful situation and my brain was saying, hey, when you eat sugar, you feel happier. So right now you're not very happy. So let's eat a cookie. Not because I needed it and not because it was an important time to celebrate a cookie. It was more of just my brain saying, if you want to feel better, eat a cookie. Kind of like a drug. It's an addiction to sugar. And so one of the things that I've learned is that I don't need to be eating the cookie to make myself feel better. I don't need to cope with a stressful day or a stressful week at work by eating cookies or sugar.
I had a lot of craving for sugar on the first 2 weeks, but this is something that actually disappeared. I know I was really craving fruits and juice, and not technically like bakeries, but still some sweetness. But this really subsidized throughout time, and now after 37 days, I don't even care. Before starting this challenge is that I was bloated all the time. I was gassy, I was bloated, I was feeling pretty bad, pretty inflamed. By just eating animal products, I really do not feel sick anymore. Like through the 37 days, I mean, I haven't felt bloated ever, you know, like I was not bloated. My belly was like flat, and my digestion was the best. There was no stinky farts. The digestion was great. And for me, this is a big lesson, because it can really be hard to live a normal life when you're just so uncomfortable and gassy all the time. So it does make a big difference. And I know there is a myth that if you eat a lot of protein, you have the protein farts. But that's absolutely not something either Catherine or me experience at all. The opposite, in fact.
When I go train, I don't feel farty and I don't feel bloated. And it's a lot easier to train like that.
Would I advise a carnivore diet to everyone? Absolutely not. I don't think, especially if you're doing a lot of sport, like running, weightlifting, or any demanding activity. I do feel that I am lacking fuel. I do, when I go to the gym every day, I do feel like I am weaker. I have lost a bit of strength, not a lot, and I was not strong to begin with, but even like that, like I couldn't push myself as hard, and I just didn't have it in me. 0 pump throughout the entire challenge, which is a bit difficult. You know, if you do weightlifting, you like having a pump when you go to the gym and lift weights. You feel flat, you feel small. It's not a great feeling, and like you can't really push yourself because you try, but you just don't have anything in you, and it's a bit frustrating. But to counterbalance that, it's nice to have like a level of energy that is consistent throughout the day, you know? Like sometimes you eat a big meal that is full of carbs and then your energy level drops, right? You feel tired, you want to take a nap and all of that. Like, there is none of that with the carnivore diet. Throughout the day, the mental focus is there and the energy is consistent throughout the day. I'm sure there are people that it would not work for them. I'm sure there are people that would actually feel sick if they were eating so much animal products. And I'm sure there are people with different kind of diet that have different kind of experiences. And another thing too, I want to point out is that I believe everyone is more sensitive to different kind of food. So for us, it's helped us to like feel better. But maybe for some people, it will be the opposite, because we're all sensitive to different things. If I eat a single apple, I'm going to be sick for hours. So many people can eat apples and they'll be totally fine. But next to that, I can drink a gallon of milk and I'm going to be totally fine. I can eat plenty of melted cheese and I'm going to be totally fine. So at the end of the day, we have to listen to our bodies, because I believe there are a lot of ingredients that are supposed to be healthy on the baseline, but the truth is that if it doesn't make you feel good, if it makes you feel sick, it's probably not healthy for you. So there is like what is healthy with like common knowledge. Everyone thinks that veggies are healthy, but if you feel sick eating some veggies that are supposed to be healthy, it's not healthy for you. So you have to listen to your body first, and I think that's a big lesson, because everyone tells everything and its opposite, right? Some people say, oh, you should eat just vegan food because everything that is based on meat is bad for you, it's going to give you cancer, etc., etc. And there are people that say, oh, you should eat just meat because it's what we've been eating for so long in humanity, and that's what you should eat, that's what is made for us. But the truth is, it depends how your body feel. And you need to like try out on yourself, see what kind of food makes you sick, what kind of food makes you feel energized, and how you feel with different kind of like grains, veggies, fruits, meat, everything, and see what your body tolerates and what it doesn't. And in function of that, build a diet that is best fitted for you. And I think that's really the big lesson out of that is for so long, I've tried to eat food that were deemed to be healthy. I tried to eat a lot of beans. I tried to eat a lot of fruits. I tried to eat a lot of veggies. But I was sick all the time because my body is very sensitive to fiber. I cannot digest fiber a lot. Nevertheless, we definitely want to reintegrate some carbs in our diet because for me, that is been a big downside, how much less energy I had at the gym. So I definitely want to integrate some grains, some carbs, like under the form of rice or something like that.
I love rice.
Yeah, around the workout. And talking about rice, we just went to the workout and now we're gonna enjoy yourself with some sushi. And when I say some, I mean
It's a lot.
a lot of sushi.
I've just craved rice this whole time, I swear. I'm so excited.